Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And want to wish all my listeners and viewers happy holidays. Just got through the Christmas festivities on Monday, and hope everybody is safe and enjoying their holidays. As we all know, especially as you get older, Christmas is for kids. And every day should be Christmas or your birthday. Live life to the fullest, maximize it to your highest potential and the gift that God has given you. And if you've been following me or you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button, and please share this commentary with people that you think will find this information informative. Also, I do have a Cash App. If you want to support, send $5, $10, or $20, whatever you want. It's at $ Trevor Donald 20 on Cash App, $ Trevor Donald 20. So people, let's get into it. Unfortunately, this particular story did not turn out well at all, but it is a paradigm for what is going on in many of our urban communities today. And many of our young black youths are suffering and are meandering around this world, living minute to minute, not even day to day, and making terrible choices. And it all goes back and starts in the household with proper parenting, fatherless homes, no mentors, no uncles, no grandfathers, kids not wanting to go to school, wanting to chase the bag by any means necessary. And this particular story is very, very troubling and traumatic. And this is about a family in Lago, Florida, over the Christmas holidays, actually Christmas Day, where a brother shoots his brother who fatally shot his sister over unequal Christmas gifts. So, 14-year-old DeMarcus Colley shot and killed his 24-year-old sister in Lago, Florida, Lago, Florida. And then after DeMarcus shot his sister and killed her as DeMarcus, then Darcus Colley, who was 15, then shot his brother at their grandmother's house. So 14-year-old brother shoots the sister, fatally kills her. Then his 15-year-old brother shoots the 14-year-old brother for shooting the sister. I know it's confusing, I know it's traumatic, and I know it doesn't make an ounce of sense. And this all took place at the grandmother's house. The 14-year-old DeMarcus was upset that the older sister, who had one or two children, and she was like 23, 24, got more Christmas presents than he did. Both brothers have been charged with murder as a result of the sister dying, and it doesn't make an ounce of logical sense. And when I talk about manifesting our truth in the right positive direction, all of this is a reflection that took place in this home in Florida with these three black young people, is that there is a fracture and a negative disease state that is going on in this particular family. For their design for conflict resolution to be gunfire and to actually kill your siblings is diabolical, it's demonic. And where these young people are headed in today's time and in the future is a complete reflection on what we have shown them as older African American adults. Something is lacking and missing in this particular home at an optimal and desperate rate, if this is the way that they decided to celebrate Christmas. And what you'll find across the country in Chicago, Philadelphia, I don't even know why we call it holidays anymore, because whether it's Labor Day, Memorial Day, the 4th of July, New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving, uh, many of our urban black youths decide to go on a purging and killing spree. And typically they've been doing this outside of the home and throughout their communities and throughout these cities. But this particular situation took place in the home in Florida at the grandmother's house. A 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 23-year-old. Two brothers and a sister. And for them to look at each other like they're complete strangers and then to commit harm, let alone shooting and death, it tells you that there is something psychologically wrong with many of our youths today, and definitely something wrong with this particular family and the upbringing of these kids. This grandmother, I don't know where the mother is, where the father is. They have to look in the mirror, and they've done a terrible job at parenting. And many of us as parents, and I've talked about this in some other videos, we have a tendency to look and measure our success. I'm in my mid 50s based on our job, our income, what car we drive, what house we live in, all on material things. But I tell people all the time, if you've had children and you raised them, the number one thing that children will teach you is humility. You have to be able to listen, see, let them grow up, go through the life of hard knocks to a certain degree, but you want to be able to mentor and be a canvas and an umbrella to protect them to a certain degree. And evidently these kids had no protection, they had no mentorship, and they had to have seen the way to deal with conflict and arguments is by extreme harm. For it to go, it wasn't a fist fight, this turned into a gun battle with a fatality of a sister and a brother shooting the other brother, and now they both facing murder charges. But the success of an adult and a parent is not based on your things, is measured by what your kids end up like. They are a reflection of you. And if your kids end up troubled and screwed up as teenagers and adults, then you have to look in the mirror and say you've done something wrong. That's manifesting your truth. And many of us in these urban markets need to go back into these cities. We have way too many fatherless homes. These kids don't have great mentors, whether it's teachers, the school, the inner city public school system has failed. We failed these children. The children are our future. Our lives are half over, and their lives are just beginning. And as technology advances with AI and all of this computer information systems that are taking place, which are going to replace manpower and manufacturing and distribution, this system in this world in the workforce is getting tighter and tighter. And you're going to have to use this brain more and more versus your hands and your feet. You're going to have to think your way through life in some kind of positive paradigm, puzzle, matrix. And yes, we've entered the matrix. And for this devastating scenario to happen to this family on Christmas is shameful. And we have to stop believing in all of these holidays. Christmas is a hoax, and it's a marketing scheme to pad the pockets of white corporate America. That's what it is. It's a trap to sell you a dream that does not exist. And Christmas and birthdays, you have one day of birth, and you should be thankful and try to exude all your potential each and every day in a positive light and a positive way. This situation in Florida is going to change the lives of everybody. Even the people that witnessed this situation will end up with PTSD. These two young men are going to spend the rest of their youth, and depending on what the laws, they may get charged as adults in the penitentiary. If you look at the pictures, they have that stereotypical young black look with the dreads or the locked hair. We need to get away from that. The old stereotype used to be that we were afraid of young black men, or America was afraid of young black men that wore hoodies. Now America's afraid of young black men that are dreaded or locked hair, this long hair. And I think Chief Keef kind of started that several years ago based out of Chicago. But these young kids are turning into the children of the corn. They have no future, no desire to want to do better. They want to chase the bag by any means necessary. And it's getting not only desperate and harmful outside of your house and navigating through the city and going to work and doing the things you want to do, but it's getting dangerous inside the house with your own family members. And that tells you that the level of stress, the boiling point, the pressure point that's taking place in America for people of color, lower middle class, low class, white, whatever color you are, that it is a pressure cooker. And conflict resolution, working through issues, jealousy has to be tempered, and mental illness is a real deal. The opioid crisis is a real deal. And to see this circumstance take place in Florida with these three young people, two teenagers and one very young adult, and the sister got murdered with her daughter in her hands, is just devastating. We're in these urban cities throughout America, we're living like we live in a third world country. And we have to do something about it and change it. America wants to save every other country outside of America, but we need to save our own young citizens here in America. And the number of youth and people of color that are going to the penitentiary is just going through the roof. If there was a comparison between the number of black males going to prison in comparison to the S&P 500, you would be looking at 50 to 60% return each and every day, every month, and every year. It's exorbitant. And you have more young black males going to prison than going to college or going to a trade school. And it doesn't make an ounce of God-given sense. And for us to manifest our truth in the right direction, we need to, as black men, we need to go back and capture these young kids if you can get them to listen. The music is debauchery, is demonic. These young kids are being completely brainwashed by all of their senses that God has given them. The external stimuli that's being forced upon them is causing complete confusion and chaos. And so proper decision making, taking a step back, taking a deep breath before you do something stupid, goes completely out the window. These young folks are very reactionary, and they will make a split decision and not even think about it. And this is including to their own family members. So the parents did a very, very poor job. The grandparents, their uncles, whatever was going on in that household was not going in the right direction. And then the police have to get called in to pick up the pieces, the dead bodies. We have to look, this situation in Florida is just a tipping bird and a measuring stick of what's taking place through all our urban cities across America. But I wanted to bring this up to my listeners. Looked at Lago, Florida situation where a brother shoots another brother because the other brother killed his sister over unequal Christmas gifts. And we put too much energy on these holidays. People are financing gifts with credit cards and extra spending and money that they don't have. We need to stop doing that. We need to live in a love lane, live lane, and a life lane. And the world is not about chasing things and material beings, material wealth. We have to get away from that. It's about what you can put in your head and in your heart. And then those other things, those external things will come to you as you navigate your way through life. But that takes time. Everybody wants everything yesterday. because technology has convinced us that everything we can get at a push of a button. You order something from Amazon, you push a button, it's there the same day or the next day. You go on social media, upload a post, it can go viral the same day. But that's not how life works. Life is about taking its time. That's the great thing about school. It teaches you delayed gratification, and it gives you an opportunity to think through the things that you're trying to do in life. And evidently these young people that committed these crimes on each other have not been taught the proper way to navigate through conflicts. They have not been taught how to mediate conflict resolution, and their immediate response was to be reactionary and harmful, and it's to each other. This black on black crime has to stop. We need to look in the mirror and see people that look like us and love each other. If we don't love each other, how do we expect somebody else to do it? And then you have this scenario where you have, not only do they look alike and are alike, they have the same blood, and then they killing each other like they never knew each other, like they're strangers on the streets. So please look up this particular article, discuss it with your kids, pay attention to your household first and foremost. These kids that are acting up in school and giving to teachers and the administrators problems, that's not the teachers and the administrators problem to solve. That starts in the home. We need to stop having external resolutions for internal problems. The police are not here to babysit and to raise your children. The teachers are not there. The teachers are there to teach. It's for you to raise your children inside the home, so when they go outside the home, they are a positive representation of you. And this is a very, very sad story. And let's pray for the family. And I will see you next time. This has been a Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.